could have got to him, I probably would have went and done something stupid and reacted to it, because it's such a disgusting thing to do. My dad that was the game he wouldn't go to. Because obviously he knew I'd be getting a lot of stick. He brought him in on the stretcher, and I was stood inside the tunnel bit area. He's got up and asked for a picture.
What?
I was thinking, you just nearly had to ask that.
So, Kay, are we renaming you as tech support rather than co-host on this pod now?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, you can hire me for anything. I don't have a LinkedIn, but I'm going to set one up after the end of this podcast.
Yeah, let's address the elephant in the room. We were meant to start a while ago. Wayne, you've had a nightmare with tech issues, haven't you? I feel sorry for you today. But commitment to the pod you've got here?
I don't know what was happening, the mic, the camera, the light, everything. It's not my strong point anyway, so I've got it on. It's
none of our strong point, I think. Thank goodness for the team around us. How's your week been? It looks like you're still away from home.
Yeah, I had a nice few days in Scotland with Colleen. It's been nice.
And Kay, you've got a lot of travel. Where's the you were impressed actually, because today I knew where your tour was tonight. I did my homework. Cardiff.
I was like, you've got my flyer up in your room or something. Yeah. No, I'm in Cardiff and Bristol and Southampton and Reading this week. So yeah, bit of clocking up the miles. Okay,
let's start our football chat then by talking about the Carabao Cup action that's happened this week. And one of the big talking points, I think, has been the red cards, well, particularly the second yellow for Hugo Ekitike in Liverpool's narrow win over Southampton. Wayne, what did you make of it?
You have the emotion of football and scoring goals, and sometimes when you score a goal, you do get carried away, and he's probably forgot he was on a yellow card, I'd imagine, but it's silly if you're on a yellow card and you take your top off. All the players know that you get booked for taking your top off. So yeah, it's a silly one, I think. And I'm sure Arne Slot, because is he going to miss the next round? Or?
He misses Palace on Saturday.
So he's doing really well, and you know it's probably a shootout for him, and he's had to play in it, and you know he's given Isak a chance to come in and try and take his place at the minute, because he's scoring goals and he's in a good place. So. Yeah, I'm sure he'll be devastated.
Did you ever forget you were on a yellow card and get sent off?
I've been sent off some silly things. There was one at Fulham away where I threw the ball at the referee, got a second yellow.
I remember that.
Villarreal away, I fouled the lad. It was a foul that was in. The referee gave me a yellow card, and then I clapped in his face, and I got my second yellow card straight away.
What did the manager say after that?
Yeah, just silly, and. To be honest, if you get sent off for going in for a tackle, which you think you can win and maybe mistime it, or sometimes I remember Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's for United where he stopped the goal and he knew he was going to get a red card. If you get a red card for something worth it, then you can take that. But when you get silly ones, it does play in your mind, and for everyone, I'm disappointed, or the players disappointed, and no doubt the manager is as well.
Did you mean to throw it at a ref?
And do you know what I did? It was just an anger moment, but I missed him, and Johnny Evans was right behind him, and Johnny caught it. So I was trying to say to him, I threw it to Johnny, but
he wasn't having any of it.
Yeah, no. So I got the second yellow. Yeah.
What was the manager's reaction to that?
Yeah, he's just disappointed, and again I said, you're coming out of the team for the next game, and I went in, and Paul Scholes had already been sent off, so me and him Scholes, he was sat in the dressing room. And all the players walk in, and it's never nice when you're sat in there and the game's going on, and then everyone walks in and you feel like you've let people down. So yeah, it's never a nice feeling. And the manager's just like, he's silly. Never really had a goal really for getting sent off. I always remember Mourinho was saying, if you need to take a yellow card, take it, and if we can waste time when we need to and stuff. And but then the problem you had is, you get a yellow card and then the club fine you.
Oh.
So you're trying to say, well, listen, we're getting asked untold here by the coaches, but
is that a blanket fine? As in, so like if you get like 5 yellows in a season, or is it every booking you get a fine?
No, I think if you get bookings for dissent and time waste and stuff like that, but if it's just for a genuine attempt to win the ball, you don't, and then red cards, you'd obviously get a fine.
I don't know if you saw Arne Slot's comments, Wayne, about it. He said he was quite hard on Ekitike. He said it's stupid even if you haven't had a yellow card. He said, like, I think the phrase was, maybe I'm old-fashioned, but I did score goals. And if I went past 3 players and put it in the top corner, maybe, he said, but basically it was just a tap-in is what he's saying. And obviously now he's cost the team, he's cost himself. in that battle with Isak. As a manager, did you ever have an incident like that where a player got sent off and you were just like, what have you done that for?
The only one really where it was Callum Wright at Plymouth, and I can't remember who playing. He was on a yellow card, and I could see him a few minutes before that, and you could see he was getting worked up, and he was chasing a little bit, and then I actually was trying to get someone ready to take him off the pitch, and in that time he's gone and smashed someone and he actually got a straight red instead of a second yellow. So yeah, then I spoke to him. I obviously said in front of the players he's let everyone down, and then I spoke to him individually and had a conversation with him. But yeah, it's and sometimes as a manager as well, you go out and you do your press conferences and do all your media duties, and I've said things. I said, players just weren't good enough, and then I've gone back and watched the game, and they actually played better than what you thought. So I went in and apologised to the players for saying that.
Is that quite important for a manager, do you think, to be able to apologise and admit when they're wrong?
Yeah, because if you don't, then the players, if they believe they play well and they have played well, and they maybe believe. And I apologised in the press as well. In the next press conference, I told the press that I'd apologise to the players and addressed it that way. So it's players aren't stupid, and if you're doing that, they think they've played well, and then they might think that you're putting it on them and trying to protect yourself. So yeah, I apologised to the players. Then I said to the media when I'd done the next press conference.
Do you think it's good man management by Slot to come out and speak like that? I felt like he was just saying what everyone else felt, but just happened to be the manager saying it.
Yeah, no, what I found with Dutch managers, I've worked with a few, Louis van Gaal, Philip Cocu, Ron Koeman, and they're all very honest and straight with you when they talk to you. And I think what he said to the press is exactly what he will have said to the player. There's no hiding behind that, and I think that's good for the player as well, because you know exactly where you stand. There's no in between.
How frustrated would you be as a fan watching that, Kay? Because I think Liverpool fans have been excited by Isak, but there'd been such good competition between the two of them. And now Ekitike has almost handed Isak the upper hand, hasn't he?
We had it last season where Ahmad scored the last-minute winner and then took his shirt off and got sent straight off as well after that. So, but in that respect, I understood it. It was against Liverpool. It's a massive goal, and there's a lot riding around that game when it's Manchester United versus Liverpool. But I think against Southampton, in like the very early stages of the League Cup, it's not the wisest thing to do. But I mean,
do you not think that's refreshing though? We've criticised teams for not playing strong teams and not wanting to really compete in the League Cup, and you've got a player who's playing really well. He's just come into Liverpool. He's playing really well, scoring goals, and he's showing that passion and emotion of scoring a late goal in the League Cup. I think that's quite refreshing, really, from where the cupgate competitions have been in recent years.
Yeah, I just think if you're on a yellow though.
Yeah, no, I get that. But
and also, it's not a new rule that's come in, is it?
No, so I'm not defending it because it is silly, but in what we've seen over recent years with VAR and players scoring goals and waiting to celebrate and stuff, I think it's actually refreshing to see someone celebrating a goal, and he's been caught up in the emotion of scoring the goal, and he'll probably regret it now, but I still think it's nice when you see that raw emotion when someone scores a goal.
No, absolutely. I understand that bit, but yeah, I think the rule's silly anyway. So look, I think players should be able to celebrate how they want. I think when you start policing how they celebrate and what they do, it's a bit annoying. But for Liverpool, I think for Ekitike, he had a chance to cement that place as his own and try and keep Isak out of the team. But like you say, I think now it gives Isak a clear run at it for a while. Yeah,
I had the one at West Ham. I didn't get sent off, but I got banned after the game for it, where I'd scored a hat-trick. And after my third goal, it was to make it 3-2, and the camera was right in my face, and I've swore down the camera, and I got a 2-game ban.
I think you're unlucky with that, because I've seen players in a modern day age do even worse, and they've had nothing.
I thought it was a horrendous decision, obviously.
Yeah, obviously. Okay, let's move on then and talk about the other games this weekend in the Premier League. As we mentioned, Palace Liverpool's won, but there's a couple of interesting ones. Sorry to say this, guys, but Man United go to Brentford. You've not actually won there in 3 seasons, and twice you've conceded 4 goals. Arsenal also go to Newcastle. Kay wants to move on already, where they've lost on 3 of their last 4 visits. Wayne, as a player, does that kind of thing play on your mind ahead of a game?
Yeah, it definitely does. I think because you'd have stadiums where you go to where you really like going to, and you normally score, and so you go into the game feeling really positive and confident. I used to have it at Aston Villa, Arsenal, and Newcastle, were probably the three. I used to really like going to and score goals. But then on the flip side, that you do have places. I remember going to Chelsea, even when I started with Everton. I missed a penalty there when I was 17. And then with Man United, Mourinho was in, and it just felt like this is going to be so tough to get chances and score against them. So I just didn't like going there at all. So you do have ground you look forward to going to playing, and ones you're thinking, oh, let's just try and get through it.
It's kind of the same as a fan. When you're watching your team, Kay, you know, don't you? Like you started rolling your eyes as soon as I said that, because you knew what I was saying. You knew what Man United's record at Brentford had been like lately.
Do you know what doesn't even bode well? We're wearing our new away kit at an early kickoff at Brentford, and the last time we did that, they put 4 past us. So it's not a good omen. It's not a good omen for us. It's a tough place to go anyway.
I think sometimes the change of managers is a big thing as well. I think I felt when Mourinho left Chelsea that it started to become a little bit easier for us to play against him. So and then with Mourinho, you look at his home record he had before he was at Chelsea. He was always difficult to beat. So I think with Thomas Frank leaving in Brentford, it's different. I said it last
Is that
year.
a psychological aspect of it? So when Mourinho went, you were like, there's no more aura or whatever it is around the place.
Definitely. And I think with Thomas Frank not being there, I think Brentford are a little bit different this season. They've lost some of the bigger players. So yeah, I think and United coming off the win against Chelsea should be going there confident. So I'm fully expecting Man United to go there and get 3 points.
Do you think then that Ruben Amorim will even mention it, or will it be used this week as motivation for the players? Or as you said, it's so different at Brentford now, it is kind of irrelevant?
You have games where you remember things, and I'm not sure it happened against Brentford last season, but the team will be beating you by 3 or 4 goals, and the fans start holaying and stuff like that. It sticks in your mind because it's not nice, and your own personal pride comes into it as well, and so you do go back thinking, right, you want to show them, and so yeah, I think definitely the United players for sure anyway will be feeling they need to get.
How do you reckon Mbumo's going to do going back to his old club?
He looks like I don't know him, but he looks like the type of character who would be fine with it. I think he's been a real positive for Man United this season. I think his energy, his running off the ball, his commitment. He's scored a couple of goals. He could have had more. So I've been really happy. I think he's been, out of all the signings, the most positive one, and he looks like someone who will just take it in stride. So yeah, I think he'd be okay. It's not always easy when you go back.
The fans enjoying him so far, Kay?
Yeah, I think he's been a real bright spark. I've been really impressed with him. He's getting into the right positions. He's doing the right sort of things, and all you ask for as a fan is somebody that tries their best and gives it their all. That's why, especially at United, fans fall in love with players. When we can see that you're trying to do everything you can to help the team win, then we fall in love with you. But I was going to ask, Wayne, what was it like the first time when you went back to Everton when you were at United?
Yeah, it was horrible. Hated it. Just going out, obviously it's a ground I've been going to since I was a kid, a baby, and then to go back and walking into the stadium. I think I actually went to walk in the home dressing room.
That was my next question.
Yeah, I did. I went to walk in, and obviously went in the away dressing room and just warming up on the other side of the pitch, and it was mad. Yeah, and the sponsors who sponsored the game that day had to go with me because the fans, even in the warm-up, were going at me, and so I come off the pitch, one side to the other side, just juggling the ball, and there was sponsors who go out on the pitch just before you finish the warm-up, and the Everton sponsors, and one of them was having a go at me there, so yeah, it weren't nice. I didn't enjoy it.
Did you change your preparations for games at Everton?
No, I didn't change my preparation, but it was hard knowing me dad, me uncles, my cousins are going to be in the stand in the Everton crowd, and actually, sorry, my dad was, that was the game he wouldn't go to because obviously he knew I'd be getting a lot of stick, and he'd go to all the Everton games, and he wouldn't go to that one at Goodison, so we'd leave that. But like my cousins and uncles and that. Well, remember the FA Cup semi-final. There was 2 where Alex Ferguson actually left me out the squad. FA Cup semi-final. He rested us. There was a few of us. We had Champions League big game midweek, and there was me, Michael Carrick, and he played with a lot of the young players, which I thought was crazy. And we lost on penalties. And then under Van Gaal, we played Everton in the semi-final, and we scored a 90th minute winner, Andy Marshall. And everyone celebrated. I stayed back. I didn't celebrate. I was obviously delighted we got the final, but you know, just knew I had, you know, family in the crowd, and we would be really upset because obviously wanted Everton to get the final. So yeah, I've matured a little bit then. Earlier on, I was celebrating stuff, but when you get a bit older, you start thinking a bit more.
Were you angry when you were left out?
Yeah, I was fuming.
Did you tell the manager?
Yeah, of course. FA Cup semi-final at that time I'd never won the FA Cup, and then we lose on penalties. Yeah, it was absolutely fuming. There was the League Cup final as well, against Aston Villa. He left me on the bench. Again, it was when we were going deep into the Champions League games, and he obviously wanted to win that more than the League Cup, so he rested us. And I come on actually in the first half in the League Cup and scored the winner. Come on for Michael Owen, who got injured. But yeah, them games, that's what you play football for, not to be sat out and rested.
Did you like prioritise certain games more than others? Like if it was a Champions League game, would you rather play that over a League Cup game?
I wanted to play every game, and you know that I always think if you start the games and you can try and get 2 or 3 up, you can come off and rest the last 20 minutes or whatever. But I wanted to play every game, and obviously there was certain players who maybe a little bit older and it would catch up with them a bit more. But yeah, I wanted to play every game, and the manager knew that, and he knew as well if I was coming back from an injury or in pre-season. I used to want to play every game in pre-season. So yeah, it is difficult when you've got a player, because the manager does have to try and manage that, because it's not easy. But yeah, I wanted everyone.
Wayne, bringing it back round to like bogey grounds, if we're going to call them that. You've mentioned Chelsea already. Were there any other grounds that you didn't like playing at?
Yeah, I hated Anfield.
Oh yeah, we've mentioned that a few times.
Yeah, I just hate to go in there, but
any others?
Not really. Stoke was always nasty. Blackpool, used to go to Stoke, and it was always freezing and windy, and the throwing long balls into the box, and the fans were horrible. I remember Blackpool, someone spat in my face when I come off and sat on the bench. Someone spat in my face. Yeah, one of the Blackpool fans.
Yeah, when that happened, what was your reaction?
It's not nice when someone spits in your face. But yeah, no, I was fuming. I think if he was a bit closer and I could have got to him, I probably would have went and done something stupid and reacted to it, because I think it's such a disgusting thing to do. You've seen players doing it, and I think it was Suarez maybe a couple of weeks ago in the States doing it. I think it's such a disgusting thing to do.
So weird, isn't it? Like, what goes through your head?
To spit on someone is not nice at all. Yeah, so yeah, I weren't happy, that's for sure.
Was that the worst thing a fan ever did to you?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Doesn't get much worse than that.
I've had a few songs sung about me as well at times. Yeah, I actually liked the Streck one. I thought that was a good one.
When it's a bit tongue-in-cheek and a player plays along with it, I think the fans appreciate that as well. Like I remember when I saw James Maddison, they were chanting against him, and then he sort of like clapped the fans, and they sort of everyone laughed along with it.
But then I always think that then the fans know that the players, like, they've got in his head a little bit, or at least he's thinking about it. Do you know what I mean? Like, I always think it's better when the players ignore it.
It depends what it is. But I seen the Maddison one was when he was taking the corner, wasn't it? He put it outside the corner flag on purpose, outside the little area on purpose, and he was winding the fans up. But yeah, I think stuff like that is no harm. But I think when it goes really personal, and you're hearing, singing about someone's mother or the wife or children, whatever, I think when that goes too far then, and but yeah, it's, as players we have to try and just be professional and try and blank it out.
I also get the feeling, Wayne, that if you went to a ground and they really sang at you, you probably thrived on it, and it just riled you up even more to play better.
Yeah, you get on with it, and if you win, then you can walk off with a smirk on your face, whatever. And then so yeah, you just got to try and get through it, and and our fans, whoever, whether about Everton or United or whatever, they sing to opposition players as well. So it's all fans do it. Every group of set of fans does it. Sometimes it oversteps the mark, and then you just hope then the right action is taken.
Wayne, what is it about away games that make it a bit harder? Is it just your routine's been changed, or is it the fact that you're going to somewhere that you're not really used to? Why is it that there's such a big advantage when you're home and you're disadvantaged when you go away?
Yeah, it depends on the situation. I think sometimes it's easier to play away from home as well. So yeah, it's when you play away from home, you can be a bit more patient with what you're doing. You can, let take the ball away and maybe try and keep the ball a bit longer to quieten the crowd down. So yeah, there is different ways in terms of how you play. You can sit in a little bit and then try and play on the break. Where at home, certainly at Old Trafford, they want to see entertaining football. They want to see attacking football, and teams when we were playing were a bit intimidated going there. So we knew if we go at them first 5 minutes, first 5-10 minutes, we were like, right, let's just be all over them and try and run all over them and intimidate them. And if we get an early goal, we knew we'd win the game really most of the time. So. And then away from home was different. We said, well, okay, let's quieten the crowd down, take the life out the crowd, and dominate the ball, and then we knew our quality would come through. So yeah, it is slightly different. But if like for instance, the way United have been up to now, it might be easier for them to play away from home, not having that pressure of all the fans on behind them, which the fans are good and supportive of the team, the manager, you can see that, but sometimes you just want to get away from that and not have that pressure, and the away fans are the die-hard fans as well, who the away fans were brilliant.
You often hear talk about clubs like making it really difficult for teams when they come to their home grounds, so like small changing rooms, no hot water, all of those kind of things. Did you ever experience any of that during your career?
Yeah, we've had fireworks outside the hotel at different places. No, the food-wise and drink-wise, we had our chef who travelled with us, so that was normally all right. If it wasn't, then it was his fault. And then that's about it. There was one year, it was New Year's. We played New Year's Day, and I can't remember what hotel. It was in Birmingham. I don't know, we were playing Villa or Birmingham, and we stayed in the hotel. And so because there was parties downstairs in the function rooms, they put us on the top floor, but they forgot to tell us that there was a firework display on the roof of the hotel. So at like 12 o'clock, all the players had woke up by all these fireworks going off right above us. So yeah, that weren't ideal, but yeah, that's about it really. Normally when you play away in Champions League, you get more stuff like that.
Yeah, but I was just wondering if there was any, like, are there any grounds in particular that had really horrible, like, away changing rooms and stuff, like, that were really tiny?
Yeah, a few. Different? Palace, Fulham.
Palace is tight, isn't it? Like, the tunnel, everything is tight.
There was one at Sunderland. I was actually suspended. So I went there and played at Sunderland, and above the dressing rooms was the toilet, and it come through and went all over the players and the clothes.
Who? Which players?
Our players, the United players.
Did it get you?
I weren't there, I was suspended, so I was laughing about it.
Oh.
But yeah, I think there was a load of whatever goes into the toilet all over the players and the clothes. Yeah.
Sorry, Kay's face looks like it's frozen like that.
Kid had a nightmare.
Yeah, so and we've had in dressing rooms where players have been in the toilet before a game, and the toilets have not flushed or whatever, and it's a tight dressing room.
This is going down a route I didn't want it to go down.
Yeah.
I also don't think every club, like now with the new grounds in the Premier League particularly, like their away changing rooms are still so nice, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. And I remember Victor Valdez when he first signed for United, and I think his first 3 games he signed in January. I think we had the FA Cup title Yeovil away, then we played Palace away, and then I think it was Fulham away, and he was like, what is going on here? Like, because the dressing rooms were tiny, they weren't the best dressing rooms. He couldn't believe it. He was like, is this what every stadium's like in England? But yeah, no, it's you get some tight ones. Tottenham and Chelsea was always hot, so I don't know whether they've turned the aircon up. And then you literally get dressed as quick as you can and stand outside the dressing room. And Anfield was always freezing, so I don't know whether they manipulate the temperature in there. But
what was it like in the States then? Was it the same?
Different. So sometimes you'd be in NFL dressing rooms, so it's absolutely massive, the dressing rooms, and sometimes you'd be in tight ones. Yeah, so it was different over there. When we go to Asia, to play, some of the toilets were just holes in the floor.
Yeah.
Whatever. So you'd have different toilets, different dressing rooms. Some good, some not so good. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, it's quite varied. Sorry, I'm still struggling with the Sunderland and where that conversation nearly went. Did you prefer playing at home or away, Wayne?
A lot of the time at home, but it is nice when you win away from home. When we used to walk in our suits and everyone looks good, they feel good, and then you come out and the fans have been giving you a load of stick during the game, and you walk out, and then them same fans are asking for a picture and an autograph, and you can just walk past them with a smile on your face. That is a good feeling.
You remember any games in particular, away games, that you did that? I'm probably imagining this.
Almost all of them. Yeah, almost all of them. Yeah. I used to get a lot. There was always a few players who I used to always get it. Ashley Cole used to, Frank Lampard. So the England players. So then they're supporting you playing for England. But yeah, we used to get it a lot. So after games was always good. We had actually in Yeovil at Plymouth, not Yeovil, Torquay at Plymouth, pre-season friendly. It was roasting. It was obviously really tight. The game got stopped about 4 or 5 times for people in the crowd passing out, and then there was one guy who felt his heart, I think it was, and then they brought him in, and I was stood inside the tunnel bit area. They brought him in on a stretcher. And he's got up and asked for a picture.
What?
I was thinking, you just nearly had a heart attack. I don't know whether he was blagging it. I don't know if he was blagging it or what, but yeah, so there's some mad things what's going.
Was that UK?
I don't think I've been to Torquay in my life.
Yeah, it's quite far from London. Okay, then let's move it on then to managers and tactics as well, because bringing it into this whole conversation about playing away from home, you mentioned how, I'm guessing you were mainly talking about Manchester United under Sir Alex when you were saying about the different setup away from home, but we've kind of seen like Pep for the first time last weekend. We spoke about it on Sunday's show. He set up a bit differently against Arsenal, and that's not something we've seen him do so much, is it? Like, do you think maybe football's changing again and we are reverting back to that a bit?
No, I think you can. Good players can normally adapt and play in different systems and different styles. I think with Guardiola, I think he has changed slightly from over the years. He normally makes little tweaks, and I always remember the first time he started bringing the fullback inside and playing as a midfield player. We played Bayern Munich away when he was manager there, and Philip Lahm was playing right back, and then I was playing as a number 10. But then he was always round me, and I was like, "What are you doing here?" That never normally happens, and that was the first time I'd seen a fullback coming inside and the inverted fullback, and then he started doing it with 2, and then he's done it with a centre back going into midfield and in possession and being a centre back. Out of possession, so I think he has adapted at different times, but I think not winning the league last season, he looks like he's got a few new players in, but quite a few young players, and he's gone a bit more counter-attack, if you like, at times as well, which in certain games, which I think that just shows what a good manager he is.
Does that mean everyone's going to follow suit? Because when he came over and set up one way, all the managers followed suit, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. No, I think it's refreshing when you see the top managers adapting, and we've had this up with Ruben as well, and the best managers are able to adapt to different situations, and sometimes the game doesn't go as you think, and you need to adapt and maybe change it slightly. So the best managers are able to adapt in game and change the outlook of the game.
I think what a game's crying out for is a bit of creativity, and I think there's so few players that are creative like they used to be. I think back when Wayne was playing, you had so many top players, and I think part of the reason there's a lot of overcoaching is because you don't have a lot of those mavericks and stuff as well. And when you do, sometimes they get shafted out into a different position that they can't really play, or they're sort of curtailed in their abilities. But yeah, like that game, for example, over the weekend, I don't think it was a good advert for the Premier League.
And I think the best managers, like, listen, we could all sit there and say, right, we're going to start this team, this starting 11, and it'd probably be very similar to whatever the whoever manager is. It'd be very similar. The best managers, the ones who can adapt and change within the game. They see things which maybe, you know, the fans mightn't see, or the other coaches mightn't see. They see things within the game and they make them changes. They're the best managers. When you put a coaching session on, you say, right, this is how we're going to play, this is the system we're going to play, if this is how we can hurt the opposition. But the opposition are doing the exact same. And so they're looking at how you play, how they can hurt you. So you could set the team up, you can give them a structure, but actually players need to be able to be spontaneous and say, okay, well, we've done this in training, but they've counteracted that. Now I need to do something different to get more space, or, you know, get a shot off, whatever that is. So the best managers are the ones who can change and adapt in game.
Well, 100%. But it was like, for example, there was loads of times in your career where you scored from outrageous lengths. Do you know what I mean? It was outside the box, halfway line and stuff. But in this day and age, if you've done something like that, it feels like a manager would sort of bring you in and be like, what are you doing?
Yeah, because that's not high on the XG. No, and that's...
No, I know.
Owners, I had it at Plymouth, owners want high XG because they think if you've got high XG, you've got more chance to win the game. But actually, if you've got Frank Lampard, for instance, who had lots of shots from the edge of the box, his XG would be really low. But he scored 200 no goals in his career. So what they want is the closer you get to the goal, the higher the XG is, and whatever. So teams are actually not shooting from the edge of the box no more. How many goals do you see from the edge of the box now? So it's coming from the owners and the data and all the stats, which they want you getting close to the goal. And you know, I was talking to one of the analysis lads, and he's telling me about zone 14, and I was like, what are you talking about? So, but this is what they're getting taught now. You need to get closer because your XG is up and you'll score more goals. But actually, it's not as easy to get closer, and you're taking away the chance of players scoring really good goals.
Wayne, how early on does that come in? Is it from academy level, all of that level of stats and stuff? Yeah,
now what players, they get all of the footage, they can look through the footage, they're doing the training sessions in the classrooms of what they're doing, which is fine, but I think a lot of players now are relying on it too much. After games now, for instance, players want to sit down individually and see all the clips and all the involvements, and it's too much, and you end up overthinking things. You just need to know this is the structure and how we want to play. You have to adapt to times within that, but if you need to work on, say, playing balls through the lines, let's review it in 4 or 5 games time, not after every game, because you start overthinking things.
I think players need to start trusting themselves a bit more as well, because I think sometimes a lot of these stats guys haven't even played the game.
Yeah, well, the NFL, I went into the Washington Commanders when I was in the States and sat down with the general manager and the head coach. And it was really interesting. So the NFL is played to... They play the game to not make a mistake. In football, the best players make mistakes, they give the ball away. And I think now football's going similar to NFL, where players are actually scared to take a risk and you know, play that. Ryan Giggs, I used to give the ball away quite a bit, but he was always trying to get someone in, or always trying stuff and trying to be creative, and then eventually he does get you in. And I don't think players are taking many risks. It's sideways, it's slow, it's back to your goalkeeper, back to your centre backs. Where actually you want to see more crosses in the box, more shots. That's what football is. It's entertaining. And maybe I think we've gone away from that a little bit.
Do you think that would kind of be coached out of someone like Ryan Giggs now in this day and age if he was coming through now? Yeah, it'd be
more difficult. Yeah, I think players with imagination and flair and are always the players who frustrate you. If you look back, all the players who frustrate you are the ones who actually excite you the most.
Yeah.
Because they are trying to be creative and entertain, where then you've got players who will just go sideways and you'd say, oh, the pass percentage is 98% and stuff, but actually how effective have they been in getting us in better areas? So it's nice to have a balance, but you always need them match winners and players who entertain you.
Did it frustrate you when you were managing about the analysis and because I guess you're getting given all that information, but it's up to you as the manager how much you use it, isn't it? You're the filter. It's up to you. It's just there at your disposal.
Yeah, well, I always tried to have a structure in how we wanted to build with the ball, but also in the final third, I told players to be creative and don't be afraid to make a mistake and don't be afraid to give the ball away or have a shot and keep doing it, keep trying to persevere with it. And so yeah, I think. You want players to be creative, but also there has to be a balance as well. But yeah, the game's going so much, more where the game's positional. Like Di Maria really struggled under Van Gaal because Van Gaal wants him to play from a structure. Now Angel Di Maria, you've just got to go and let play. Give him his defensive duties as long as he does that, but let him go and be free and play. So it is difficult for them players who want to come into a system which maybe takes their freedom out of it, but is better for the team.
Is these conversations that you're having with your son as well, I guess, because you're saying that the analysis starts from a young age. Are you just saying to him, pick and choose not what you listen to, of course, listen to everything, but just don't overanalyze almost?
I've said to him since he was very young. I said that, when you get the ball, I don't want to see you doing like 5 step overs and mess around. If you get the ball 1v1 and knock it past them and run. Use your pace and use your strength. Yeah. That is so effective. People, I spoke to Marcus Rashford on this a couple of years ago because I felt he was slowing the ball down too much and passing back inside. And I said, right, when you get the ball, all you need to do is you get a fullback 1v1, knock it past him and run. You won't catch it. And even if they do, you might win a free kick, you might win a penalty, you get a throw in high up the pitch. Be positive, because if you ask any defender, that's what they don't like. And then running behind off the ball. It's so simple. To be effective that way, and now players might want to do 4, 5, 6 step overs, and then they get a clip on YouTube which they can show everyone. That's what the way it's going.
We're on YouTube, don't knock it, Wayne. Okay, well that's where we'll leave it for today. Wayne, you've got a long journey. Kay, you've got a long journey. I'm going downstairs.
All right,
yeah. Have a good one, guys. We'll be back again on Monday. A reminder, as always, you can watch the Wayne Rooney Show on the BBC Sport YouTube and iPlayer, or you can listen on BBC Sounds.